Hello, everybody. Hope my microphone is loud enough. Let me just have a listen back. Perfect. That sounds absolutely fantastic. So, welcome to the stream. I'm working with a new layout today. So, if you see me looking up, it's because I'm looking at my stream layout and a few other things. So, we are playing as Mistress Olyria, the Hunchback of the Black Pines. We are the granddaughter of Asher Forrester, who we are attempting to take control basically of this entire section of the north, the Wolfswood, all the way up to the wall. Don't know if you guys can hear that, but some of my neighbors are setting off fireworks for some reason. I don't know why. There's nothing particularly special on right now this time of year where I am, so. But yeah, we control essentially what is known as, what's this area known as? It is the Northern Mountains area we control, so we control this entire area. We also control the Black Pines, which technically includes these two provinces, Darset and Alpine, but they belong to the Starks, so they keep them essentially because they are within their own power. If they gave these out at any point to a vassal, they would immediately hand them over to us, but they won't do that. And then we have taken control of the Deepwood, Mulroot, and one of the two provinces of Greenwood, in the hope to. Oh, hey, QG. You're celebrating your arrival? Welcome. Nice to have you here, buddy. I haven't watched that full video yet on Cloudstrike, largely because it's an hour long and I wanted to do a bit of streaming today. But you can rest assured that I will watch it tomorrow morning, when I should be doing work, but I won't be. So yeah, our hope, my plan is to essentially take over the entire Wolfswood, Sea Dragon Point, and then take over Edgewood, because Edgewood has a very large amount of Wolfswood clansmen. We see that the Grey Downs has a single province, I think. Yeah, this one here. But I don't care too much about that. It's a single province. So we want to control Edgewood. We want to have all of this. So essentially that is our goal. To control this large section of the north ourselves. Alternatively, what I might do is keep the last mountains, keep the Black Pines, keep the Wolfswood area, so Wolfswood and Sea Dragon Point, and then give Edgewood to a cousin, essentially. Chill lurker and watch write some code while watching a film. Sounds absolutely fantastic, sir. You enjoy your code and you enjoy your film. Let me know what you think of what you watched. We're going to go ahead and start playing here. I've basically sent out a few things to be like, hey, I wanted to control a few things. Also, I'm not sure what to do about Bear Island. I like the Mormonts as a house, and I like their story, so what I might do is I might just leave them alone. Jorah Mormont's here, though. Don't know if it's the Jorah Mormont, but he is here. It would be his... yeah, I don't think it's him. We are above our domain size limit, which is fine. Faction created against you. Who are you? Oh, you're the Edgewoods guys. What is your faction power like? 72%. Why don't you like me? Because you're a title claimant. I'm hunchbacked. You're ambitious. Limited crown authority, primogeniture. I'm over domain limit. I have a short domain. I insulted them at some point. Yeah, so they don't like me for very obvious reasons. What is their goal? Lower crown authority? That's not worth it. I'll just lower my crown authority to the minimum. I don't want to fight those guys right now. Not because I couldn't win, but because that's not my goal. Also, if you ever see my mouse vanish off the screen northwards, it's because I wanted to check something on one of my other screens. So, I've yet to quite figure out a way to make sure that I can do that without any kind of worry. No dropped frames, but the game looks a bit choppy. Hang on, let me just... my settings here. Let's put that on medium for now. Doesn't necessarily matter. I don't think it's a case of the game is struggling. I just think it's because there's maybe something going on in the background that I haven't figured out. It's because my GPU is hot because the fan hasn't spun up. That'll fix it. Cool. Fresh new viewpoint walls. Listen, I need you to stop automatically lowering the fan speed. The GPU is under load right now. It's at 77C. Eddard is my son? No, he's my uncle? No, he's not. I'm not sure how he's related to me, but he's related to me in some way, shape, or form. Which holding is it that puts me over? I could give away Marwold Hold, even though it's a very good holding. Essentially, if I give away Marwood Hold, I'm giving away a home province, and that's kind of less worth it than you'd think, because you gain more taxes in your holding. Royland Forrester. He is a hale young man. Strong fellow. Ooh. Wrong button. There we go. For the north. I didn't die. I kind of wanted to die, even though it would be bad because my oldest is only 13. It would at the very least mean that things would be okay. Hey, Wog. Oh, I was a guest of honor at a celebration. That's cool. No, hey, I actually didn't know that Tommy had set up the Discord bot to, like, ping people whenever we go live. Was not aware of that, which is really cool, honestly. I appreciate that for him. I appreciate that from him. Stag hunt. So, I don't think I can gain... I think I can't gain a claim on the Edge of Wood. It is cool you have the same bot on your server. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing stuff with it, but I'm also very, very lazy. And I don't want to put any more effort into this than I think I can afford to. Once I go offline, it links to my VOD instead. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be a case of Tommy won't see me stream code very often because I don't like streaming code because I'm very self-conscious about that kind of stuff. I don't like streaming things I want to work on. I prefer streaming things I find fun, which is why I stream video games. Ah, you're sleeping with men. Got it. Same there. Yeah. I don't really like streaming things that I want to work on because I don't feel like I'm a good enough software engineer to like stream myself doing software engineering. But I feel like I'm a decent enough video game player that I can at least find some fun in this for people, and I can be slightly entertaining. Not very entertaining, just enough to, you know, make sure that some people hang around. For some reason, you got redirected to another stream. There might be someone else who has a similar name to me. I don't know. That can probably happen, right? Oh, you are my son. You're my younger son. Yeah, I want him to be diplomacy focused. I should spend some of my money. Twitch is weird. Twitch has its unfortunate moments of it being weird. We will upgrade this for a relatively cheap amount. We will upgrade that. If there was a territory I would give away to like an old person, it would be High Point. So if I was to be like, let's see. Sorry, that's all right. Woke, thanks for coming up. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. If you gotta go, you gotta go. I appreciate it. I would want to be a poet. I'll do poet. Poet seems like an interesting one. Yeah, because my son isn't hunchbacked. So that's good. Neither of them are. So what I'm thinking is, I think I have a truce with this guy, don't I? No, I'm not. So what that tells me then is... Yeah, so they... Absolutely. So the idea here now is to... If I can get it to grab... Ooh, well-known dynasty. That gives a little bit extra piety and prestige. Very much worth it. If I can grab it, I'd like to grab one more piece of territory in the Wolfswood. Mern Florent and Danny Forrester. Sure, you guys seem like you'd be a good match. So yeah, I need one more piece of territory from the Wolfswood in order to claim the title from the Glover here. What's your son like? You're not terrible. You're not great, though. And you're married to your cousin? Yes. Okay. Didn't know we were Targaryens, but here we are. What happened to your head? You're wheezing. Okay. That's unfortunate, guys. It's unfortunate. Who are you? Who are you married to? I will be merciful. So the next thing we should pick up is probably Convergent Blood, because these first two parts of Blood are very powerful in that they make sure that you pick up new good traits and you are more likely to keep those good traits. Much like how Resilient Bloodline does the opposite. It makes it harder for you to inherit bad traits and makes new bad traits less likely. So like the first three parts of Blood are very good, and I'd say that 4 and 5 are whatever. Like you can go 3 deep into Blood and then be like, oh, I want to go down Erudite or Glory or Kin or maybe Northman for us, I think would be a good idea. But the first 3 of Blood is usually good to get, especially if you're trying to get like a good, like a positive physical trait in. Aw. I like Eddard. You're not very good. Prowess. You're actually not a trained fighter. Ooh. Oh, I lost Ode to Roderick. Okay. I only have 20 prowess, which is not very good. I'm a much better commander than... Sorry, a much better strategist than I am an actual fighter. He's older than the previous... Oh, God. He won't last very long. Right, so we're gonna... The reason why we have so many men is because of the fact that I have such high martial. This does what? It gives extra levy size, extra travel safety, increased advantage. And my base prowess is pretty bad, even though I have a +9 from Iron Will and a +4 from Robust, but I'm not a trained fighter. I don't want any fighting training. So it's not too surprising, really. They want me to get married to a Manderley who's not very good. Let's see if there's anyone else in here who we can get for you. So we know someone who's the right age, first of all. And someone who's around 15. There's a Glover. There's a Hornwood. Roderick Snow. Are you any good? You're gluttonous, you're brave, you're stubborn, and you're generous. You don't have anything particularly unique about you, though. Oh, you're comely, you're arbitrary, you're stubborn. Not much there. No, you're good. You'll do the job. You're an intelligent 14-year-old. So the hope is that I believe it's in here somewhere. What is it called? Strength and Bloodline? Yeah. So you need one of each good trait. So one of Hail, Comely, or Quick. Basically, you need one from each. And then you need one that's a tier 3 trait. So you need one of them to be Genius, Beautiful, or Amazonian, as it says here. And you have to have 0 bad traits. And then you can have Strong Blood, which gives small health boosts and chance of inheriting good congenial traits go up 40, and chance of new good congenial trait go up 40%, 400%. So it's much less likely you'll ever come into a situation where you have really bad characters because of bad inheritance. Neighboring ruler won war. Oh, you were fighting against the tribes. I see. I have seen Castle Black fall. I have seen the wildlings take Castle Black before. It's interesting when it happens. So how much longer until we have this claim? Another month or so. What's this? Petition liege. Request a loan. No thank you. As for what I'll do with the rest of the Deepwood, up here in Sea Dragon Point, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Solitary Jez, I want to say. Jez. Yeah, I'm very excited for the dragon update. Looking forward to what'll be in it. Um, oh, you died. Who's now in charge of the Rills? You? No, you're in charge of the Black Pines. So who's in charge of the... Sorry, yes, I'm very excited for it. The Barrowlands. Oh, Asher's in charge of the Barrowlands. Can I negotiate an alliance with you? You will accept my alliance. Fantastic. That's an extra 8,000 men. Absolutely fantastic. You are contrite. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new mod. I'm looking forward to them adding dragons. It'll make the earlier starts more interesting, like the 9 Penny Kings and the whatever start date they're adding before that, which will have dragons in it. But if there's a chance now, you can start to say, you know, Viserys the Unlikely. I think it's Viserys the Unlikely, right? I think. Aegon the Unlikely. Aegon the Fifth the Unlikely. If you want to start as this guy, instead of starting and like trying to fight, you might end up having to fight Maelys the Monstrous as a dragon rider. Oh, you picked up Architect. Damn. My spouse is very good at his job. My husbando. Let's give you a squire. Ooh, new martial perk. See it done. We'll grab Never Back Down because it's a good way to make sure that more of your men survive. And now we will also go ahead and grab... Let's grab Cloud Forest. I think that's in the Lordship of the Wolfswood, yeah. So what I'm going to have to do is... Exciting search. Take one of these territories, and I think what will happen then is... my hope is then that they'll swap Acorn Grove and... Acorn Grove and Honeywell. I think they'll be switched to me because they are... Because they will be de jure my vassals. Should be fun and nerve-wracking. Will be extra chaotic if Aegon hatches the eggs and Summerhall never falls. Dragon versus Dragon 9 Penny War. It would be. That would be interesting because you'd have an actual like that start is very fun, but it's definitely not as good as if it would be if dragons could come back, and you might have an instance where Maelys has dragons but you don't. Or you could have an instance where you have dragons and Maelys doesn't, which I think would be very cool. Oh, hey, Red. Welcome. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing okay. Oh, am I gonna die? Nope. I'm lucky to be alive. I gain a martial perk. Very nice. So... yeah, I'll call it courtship, even though it doesn't really matter. Benjen is old. Benjen is 16 now. What's he like? Ooh, he's an intrigue character. He's a flamboyant trickster. What is this? Huh. Yeah, interesting. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, Jays, but sometimes, I don't know if it's a thing, but there will just be House Bright Flame that appear. I think they're a bastard house of the... Yeah, they're a bastard branch of the Targaryens. And I have them married to my bloodline. Tired, long drive to Glasgow today, so watching before sleep. That's fair. Thanks for watching. It's appreciated. I hope you get some good sleep and you have a good time in Glasgow tomorrow. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about playing a intrigue character, because I don't do it very often. He's also not that great at fighting. Doesn't have any particular bonuses. He's not going to be good. He's not going to be exceptional, but I think he'll be fine. And who can get married? Beth Forrester and Malin. Absolutely, go ahead. You're actually not terrible. As a diplomat and as a learning person, you're pretty good. Oh. Oh, that's cool. It's an actual gemstone. Usually they tend to be just painted rocks. That's very cool. I'm not going to commission an artifact because I'm waiting for this claim. What's this? A hunt? The Tricker of the Dreadfort. No, thank you. Not going near the Dreadfort. Even though I think we're related. No. Must have been a different save. Yeah, this also might be. I think I've talked about this before. But if I go back here to, there's Rob. Rob lived for a very long time in the save, and he actually controlled the Iron Throne pretty well. Even as someone who, you know, definitely was not great as a administrator. His son took over, and then their daughter took over, but then she was overthrown by Renly. Renly's line is currently the line that's leading the Iron Throne in this save. Hey, Lady D. Tommy says hello. Tell Tommy I'm absolutely in love with this screen. I have not stopped talking about the benefits of widescreens, of ultra-wides to people ever since. Anyone who does not have an ultra-wide should get an ultra-wide if you can afford it. It's so good. But the Dreadfort is such a lovely place. Fuck the Boltons. Jess, if you know anything about the Forrester story, fuck the Boltons. Absolutely not. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Lady D. Nice to see you. Ooh, all of the Wolfswood will be mine. Absolutely fantastic. So, who will I be fighting? I'll be fighting you and King's Course, but that's not a problem because you are quite literally not going to be able to stand up against me and the Rills. So we're going to call in Lord Asher. I think that's it then. Yep, we have Lord Asher in, which is all I need. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Tommy of Doris fame, the co-creator of Doris, gave me an ultra wide, which is what I'm looking up at right now, which is what's in front of me here. He had replaced his old one, and I'm basically using it as like a OBS and stream overlay thing with my chats on this screen to my left. So like, it's super nice to not have to like alt tab through all of the tabs and programs I have open. It's such an incredible like quality of life, I suppose, improvement compared to what I thought it would be. Oh, you're a forest fighter, and you're also you're reckless. Yeah, we're just gonna keep ourselves in charge here. So I know people are always like, "Oh man, ultra wides are so expensive." They are. Ultra wides are very expensive for what they are. Given that at the end of the day they're just a screen, but they are absolutely worth it as far as I'm concerned. And I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't pay for the screen. I got it as a donation. So I appreciate Tommy for that. The Scarlet Shore is under siege. Oh, that's fine. It's already been dealt with. He's smiling away to himself, hearing you. Ah, Jesus, Tomo. Big T, thanks for the assistance, my friend. It's much appreciated. Hope you and Tommy are having a nice evening down there in the lovely, lovely lands. I don't need to call him in, but nice to have an extra 7,000 men on hand. Oh, Versailles down. Oh boy, that's not what you want to hear. Hang on, I'm gonna click the join Doris link that I have in my pinned tweet in my pinned message. Okay, so it comes up. I just clicked it and it looks like it's working fine. I don't know. But hey, if it isn't working, it isn't working. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks to be okay for the minute. It's intermittent? Okay. That's alright then. It's annoying that it's not constantly on, like it's not constantly working like you'd expect it to, but it's also not a case of it's down constantly and you're like, yeah, the site's dead. Lord Walton of Thunderbrook. At least you don't work in for sell. Fair. Right. These guys are just being chased around by the Rills, having an awful time. That's kind of funny. It's just a full-on, like, loop-de-loop of, like, they're a little bit too fast for each other. I won't lie, it's very funny. Right, so I've won that. I'm now going to come over here and catch these guys. That broke them out of their loop, at least. Ooh, go there. Spot on, caught them. Cat and mouse chase? Yeah, it was just a big old loop around Howl. It was very funny. Nice. Okay, so we haven't won yet, so what I think we're going to need to do is go to here. And we will siege. Also, by the way, Tommy, I don't think you were here earlier when I said it to Woe, but I appreciate the fact that you set up the Doris Discord bot to ping whenever a team member goes live. I appreciate that a lot as just a thing. I just wanted to say it. Unicorn Riders? Why the fuck is the I'm sorry, hang on. He did it because he wanted to get your notifications, but I was the one who noticed. Oh my god. Okay, that's really funny. But also, why the fuck did whoever the last guy who was doing this decide to take this Children of Stone trait? Because now disloyal is more common, and I want to die. And the cannibal trait has an additional bonus: extra prowess, extra stress loss, more natural dread. Oh, I hate this. I think it's because our previous guy had a thing with Skagosi culture, and I hate this. I want this shit gone. Trying to become a cannibal? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen. I try to play the Forresters as canonical to my own mind as I can, which often means trying to stray away from intrigue stuff, unless it has to do with the Whitehalls, which I've already beaten firmly. Even then, I still won that fight fair and square, so. Right, where is the other... Oh, there it is. We'll go up there, though, instead. I try to play my houses in the CK3 mod as close to what they are. So a lot of the time I play my... If I'm playing Foresters, if I'm playing Foresters or Starks or something like that, I play them very honorably. I try to instill the idea of what they are, because like when you start off as a Forester in the timeline save of like the stag on the Iron Throne, you start off as Gregor the Good, who has like a bunch of good traits. Hang on, I can just show you this. Why am I not saying this? So you start as Gregor the Good, who is brave, honorable, compassionate, and diligent. Very, very good in a fight, and very, very good martially, and pretty good stewardship-wise. And diplomacy-wise, actually. I think he had like a really high diplomacy at one point before he died and became infirm. But I often try to instill the ideas of what they are. Also, this guy died at the Battle of the Neck, I think it was. Like, he died down here fighting for the Starks. Because he and the rest of the Foresters are known bannermen. They're noted bannermen of the Starks. Loyal to the end. I'm pregnant? Oh boy. I'm pregante? Man, people listening to this, like Tommy must be like, what the fuck is Mikey talking about? Right, we've won this war. We now control the entirety of the Black Pines and Sea Dragon Point. We have an extra bit of territory here, which I'm just going to give to... just give it to my captain. We're going to take Household Guard because we could use the extra knights. My playthroughs are always heavily stewardship based. You see, I understand that because in the base game you can often like it's a lot easier to get really high domain holdings. You can have like 6 or 7. The highest I think I've ever seen in this game is 4. Like in the mod is 4. I think they've lowered the amount of domain size you can have quite significantly, and that makes sense. Because if you could have like 5 or 6 holdings in this game, in this mod you could just be killing everything around you. Because I only have 3, and I should technically only have 3 domain size, but I can keep 4 around. Not too worried about it. And now the Glovers control Sea Dragon Point and the Lordship of Flatmere, and that's it, I think. Yes, it is. So next is Greenwood. It's a shame we never got a sequel to the Forrester Telltale AGOT. Yes. Absolutely, I agree with this. You like playing as the Valyrians? Yeah, they're underrated in this game because they stay around. I was of the uneducated knowledge that I assumed that every single. What's my main goal with the Foresters is to control the majority of the Wolfswood clan territory. So I can't control this territory here because it belongs to the Starks because they've kept this because usually what will happen is if the Starks end up taking any extra territory, they will give up Darset and Alpine like straight away because they're not built up. They're quite bad territories. And then they will give them to me almost immediately because I will form the High Lordship of the Black Pines, and these belong to the Black Pines, so they'll give them to me, being their de jure liege. So I'm going to try and take over as much of the land that belongs to the Wolfswood clans as possible, while being the Foresters. Also, I'm pretty sure if I do this, the Big Wolf. That's not one I've seen. But the next person in line for the North is a Forester. Because I married him. I married Robin the Beautiful to Robin the Big Wolf, which, by the way, did not realize this when I married them. Did not realize they were both named Robin. Entirely coincidental when I did that, which was very funny. But yeah, there will be Sir Rickard Forrester on the throne of the North when his father passes away. His father's 60. He's ailing, so he's starting to get a little bit older. His wife is poor because she's infirm and melancholic. So it's looking like it won't be too long until their Foresters are on the throne of the North. I would look at maybe taking over. I would love to get the Foresters on Blackwood Vale. I like the Blackwoods. House Blackwood are very underrated. They were married to the Targaryens in the what's it called? In the Song of Dragons show. I think Viserys at the time was married to a Blackwood woman. I don't remember which one though. If I go in here, I can just search through like this. Basically, I got to go back a couple generations though. This one, yeah. Betha Blackwood was married to King Aegon V, the Unlikely. Which is something I think is really cool, that there is like an old gods person sitting on the Iron Throne. Well, not on the Iron Throne, but sitting next to the Iron Throne. Your character gets old enough, they switch to learning. Yeah, that's fair. I can see that. I can see a character who hits like mid 50 and just being like, oh, whatever they're heading towards, screw it. We're gonna go to learning and try to keep them alive as long as possible. I, however, I often prefer just moving on as fast as possible because a lot of the time, the older the character gets, the worse they become. Which makes perfect sense. Yeah, sure. Doesn't a Blackwood marry a Stark at some point? I don't know. But I think that was before the Blackwoods were exiled from the North. Because the reason why they're down here is because they were exiled from the North. That's why they are an old gods follower, even though they are in the South. They're in the Riverlands. They're not too far south, mind you. They're only a little bit south of the neck, really. But they're in the south as old gods, as old god followers. Because there's a giant weirwood here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's a great dead weirwood tree here. Don't the Blackwoods. I could check if I go to the north. Ricard, Elwyn. Yeah, there we go. There's a Blackwood. Married to William of the North, who died very young. Slain in battle. By someone beyond the wall. His first son... Oh, sickly. Cregan. Is that someone older than I'm seeing here? I'm not aware. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Cregan of the North. Here we go. She's apparently not a Blackwood, though. Her name is Lyanna Stark. Maybe they fucked that up in the game here. I'm not sure. Go back a wife? Oh, so he's had multiple wives. How many wives has he had? 1, 2, 3. She died quite young, though. Oh, but she was also a wise consolator, which is like a super, super rare fucking education trait, because the tier 5 education traits in this game are super hard to get. There's only one university to go visit. But yeah, you're right. She does look like a good character, though, having 17 diplomacy, 12 martial, and 10 learning. Back during the Dance of the Dragons days, huh? Okay, so this might... Actually, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to look directly at my chat when I say this. Jess and Danny, I've never watched an episode of Game of Thrones, or a episode of Dance of Dragons. I've seen clips, I've seen interviews about the shows and all that, and I feel like I kind of... How do I put this? I don't think I missed out on a Game of Thrones because it ended so poorly that no one talks about it anymore. No one talks about Game of Thrones anymore because it ended so badly that it just got removed from everyone's zeitgeist. But I'm like, but the major thing, the only thing in the Game of Thrones universe that I actually really, really got myself attached to was the Telltale Forrester story. I actually own the Telltale Game of Thrones on my PS5. Well, PS4. I bought it on PS4 back in the day. But I bought it digitally, so I have access to every single episode. I could technically figure out a way to stream. I could essentially turn on my PS5, set up my Twitch account on it, and stream it. You had bleached white hair. I'm gonna say Danny because I think all the Targaryens had white hair. Or the Valyrians. I'm not sure. I think both of them have white hair, right? I think that's a thing of the Targaryen lines. Danny, I see, yeah. So yeah, I never watched a single episode of a Game of Thrones. I haven't watched A Dance with Dragons. I might watch The Knight of the Seven Realms because I like the story of Duncan the Tall. But then again, I might not. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know. At this point, I feel like I've found my niche in Game of Thrones, which is the Forresters and their story, and I'm like, that's my one thing that I'm allowing myself to have when it comes to Game of Thrones, because any more than that seems like a lot. Absolutely no, I'm not fighting you, even though you're missing a leg. I'll ransom you, though, for 38 gold. Yeah, you can fuck off. Sure. Prisoners, let me just ransom all of you. You consume every single type of media in the audiobook. You see, I understand. I love the idea of reading the audiobooks. However, I'm gonna also like annoy everyone. I don't know if Tommy's still listening, but I'm just gonna say this now, Tommy, and if I'm going to let you know that you might need to like grab Danny and stop her from leaving the house. I do not like George R.R. Martin's writing. I'm gonna wait for a minute now and see how the chat reacts to that. Danny, fair. I don't like his writing. I think his writing is very... I think as a writer, he has this exceptional way of building... building a world that's interesting. Like, the state of Westeros as we know it from a Game of Thrones, say. It's like, dragons are dead. There's no such thing as magic. People are shitty. I'm like, I get all that as like a cool like background to like the story you want to tell, but also I like fantasy where people actually are good, or at least they do the right thing the majority of the time. And sometimes the right thing can just be murdering people. Like, let's not be wrong here. Sometimes the right option is just killing someone. Which, you know, whatever you want to say on that, I guess. But like, I think George has a talent for creating worlds that people get sucked into, and has an exceptional talent for interpersonal like relationships in writing. But I think everything else is kind of mediocre. Also, like, I can't really say this as someone who has had a book in like a publisher's hands and told, hey, you could get this published, and then never did anything with it after that, or like did very little with it after that. So I can't say anything about his prolificness, about how terrible he is at actually getting books written and getting them onto people's shelves. But yeah, I get it. It's not easy. But yeah, I don't like George R.R. Martin's writing, which is why I'll never actually listen to the books or read the books or anything else. I like being able to take... Sorry, I don't particularly like leaving that stuff spinning around. It feels very nauseating. I like being able to take his world and make my own story with it. He hasn't finished the series in, 20 years? Give or take. Yeah. Because obviously he hadn't finished the main Game of Thrones story because... I'm just looking and seeing if there's any drop frames, because I'm seeing a lot of stuttering on the stream end. Are you guys seeing stuttering? Is that just me and my bad feedback on my end, or is there actually stuttering on the stream? Anyway, yeah, he hasn't finished anything in 20 years, more or less, and like that's why the AGOT series had to go off kilter, because they got to a point where they exceeded the books, which happens in other media too. It happened with Full Metal Alchemist. They redid it. I think they released Full Metal Alchemist in 2003, and then I think in 2008 or 2009 they released Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which had the entirety of the manga story behind it. So yeah, like, it happens in other media. It's just it's very, very polarizing in the case of a Game of Thrones. Because some people are like, oh yeah, it's so good up until like the 5th season. Like, if you watched up to the 5th season and never watched it again, it's great. And I'm like, but that's no good, though. That's like telling me to read 2/3 of a book. You know? It just doesn't work. You're not seeing anything? It might be the monitor. It might legitimately be the monitor, because I'm looking at the OBS on one side of my monitor and there's no lag and there's no drop frames or anything, and then I'm looking at the stream on the other side of the monitor and I'm seeing what looks like me being really choppy. So Yeah. You personally enjoy more fan fiction than the OG books. You know what? I can 100% see that. I can 100% see this universe as being a massive sink for people who love writing and who love the setting but hate how long it takes George to actually write something. It's weird if you're familiar with Brandon Sanderson. I am familiar with Brandon Sanderson. Great author. He spits out massive, like 2 or 3 books a year. So here's a factoid about Brandon Sanderson that I know that a friend has told me. Shout out to Rallinator. Brandon Sanderson pays a team of editors and assistants to double check his own lore against him. So he'll be writing something, finish writing for the day, hand it off to his assistants, and then they'll go, hey, check this against like all of the lore I've ever written for this series and tell me if I'm making a mistake or if I'm contradicting myself. And then they'll come back to him and say, no, you're good, or yes, you fucked up, here's where you fucked up. Because that is what they are paid to do, which is a really cool thing, and I wish more writers did that, who had massive, like, overarching stories and big books and stuff. I can let George away with it. I can let George away with the fact that he has contradicting bits and pieces in his books, because of the fact that I don't feel like the person who we see or who we are following or, you know, whatever it may be, however he writes his narrative series, I don't believe at any point the person writing the story is a reliable narrator. I am a firm believer in the fact that every single book George has ever written has been from like a third or fourth party who has been told about this from someone who survived something. Like, when he eventually writes what he wants to do, or he dies and the stuff that he has written gets released, because that's something that he has admitted to, that he will be releasing all of his books. Sorry, he will be releasing the end of a Game of Thrones if he dies in the meantime in like an audio file. He has like a saved file that tells everyone how the story ends, because he doesn't want people to be like, oh, we never got to see the ending, and, you know, Brandon Sanderson would take it over and finish it in 2 weeks. Like he did with Wheel of Time. You know, I firmly believe that every single thing we see in the Game of Thrones story is not a first party recollection. In fact, sometimes it might not even be a second or third party recollection. So, yep, that's fine. You are severely injured, which you are not doing terribly. I could offer you a squire. You won't accept. Why not? You do not value it. Okay. Oh, you're in the Riverlands, so they won't do that for me here. Do you have a squire? Yes. Do you have a squire? No. Perfect. George writes a paragraph, rewrites it again and again and again, and then what he writes doesn't go with his planned plot. See, yes. And that's the biggest problem with Martin, is that I don't necessarily know how much of what he writes is actually, like, premeditated. I think a lot of what he has is, like, I have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then everything else I will connect as I go. Which, as a method for writing, is what people do when they learn how to write. I'm saying this as someone who has a writing degree, by the way. I spent 3 years in college learning how to write properly. How to create worlds and all this sort of stuff. But, ignore that. I've never had anything published. I'm, you know, armchair writer here. So, the way that I can tell that he has never had any actual formal training on how to write, which in a way is a good thing, because not everyone who learns how to write can learn how to write and then apply that to making their own unique style. A lot of the time they'll end up copying other things, which, you know, there's no unique content these days, or if there is, it's like super niche stuff, or it's fan fiction. So, like, yeah, I can totally see why he makes all those mistakes. And a lot of it is because he hasn't been trained properly, because of the fact he has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's it. You were meant to paint. I mean, you could paint while listening to this. You could paint the Forresters if you wanted. That was the whole concept around Fire and Blood, the Targaryen history thing George wrote. 3 different narrators with different perspectives on the Targaryen line. You have a master's in creative writing. Love to see another who studied at uni. Yeah, I went to NUIG for 3 years. It was the only place I could get that would take me for creative writing. Oh, yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. I have a new commander on the wall. That's the audiobook you're listening to right now, Danny. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, so your study degree is at a university in Central Arkansas in the US. Interesting. You graduated back in 2022, looking to get a PhD now. Okay, so I'd never considered going for a PhD or going any higher than what I was planning, really. Just gonna wait for the ad break to end. If anyone's still here listening, hello. If you want to no longer have to do any ad break stuff, subscribe. Use your Twitch Prime. It's free. Helps me, do stuff. Maybe. Yeah. And the narrators weren't even alive during the events of Fire and Blood. Yeah, that sounds like exactly what George would do. Also, TwitchCon merch. I like this. It's like a football jersey, like an American football, or not really American football, but it's more like a soccer jersey, if you will, a European football. Just turning my lights on because it's dark in here. Don't necessarily know if it'll help with stuff, but here we are. Let me just turn on my LEDs. Where is that? There we go. That's the app I was looking for. Much better. And now let me turn this bad boy on. There we go. I am lit, as the kids would say. I never considered going back into education for writing because I've never used my writing degree for money. I've never been paid to write, which makes me sad. Honestly, I love writing. The narrators weren't even born. Yep, you consumed ice and fire and blood through the wiki. Interesting. You have a work in progress of Highgarden. Highgarden is a very, very wild place. Highgarden, who are you? Lord Paramount Mace, you're a chicken. You're a coward, and you're shy, but you're trusting and you're content. Oh boy. How the fuck? And how the fuck? Man. This game is wild sometimes. Yeah. You only ever published academic papers? My thesis was a novel, but other than the thesis draft living at my school's library, I've never got it published properly. Interesting. I had a meeting when I was 19. So yeah, about a decade ago now, with a publisher, and they told me, yeah, we'd love to consider publishing your book. However, we need you to do like some editing and stuff on it. So you've poetry published. That's cool. I was never a good poet. I was always more of a writing. I was always very bad at poetry. Sorry, I'm just reading some stuff that's been posted. Nothing important, it looks like. Yeah. Ooh, a shadow over High Point. In Irish, wow. Yeah, no. I can barely, I can barely manage English. Wonderful. So where is this plague in our territory? Oh, it's here. It's in the province of Lakehold. You were / am bad at poetry. I mean, I never got the appeal to poetry, but yeah. Your degree is in digital humanities? Digital humanities? What the Sorry, what does that mean? You're forced to take a poetry class in your MFA program? I wasn't. Which I'm very grateful for, because I would have flunked it. I took a... what did I take instead? I think I took a history lesson. I took a history, or... I think it was psychology and history I think I took instead of poetry, because I was like, fuck no, I'm not taking poetry. So they made me take 2 instead. Oh, so traditional humanities with digital tools. Okay, interesting. Ooh. Oh, there we go. I'm now Admiral of the North, and the North is now controlled by a Forrester. Lordship of Deepwood? Oh, it's over here. So, the Foresters now control the North. We now have 2 great swords in our inventory. We have Ice. And we have Iron Will. I had a lot of computer science classes then. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I never took a professional in college course in computer science. I didn't do in order for me to get into coding, I did a online course. I need a new spy master. Son's there. You did introduction to HTML, CSS, and PHP 3 times, 1 for every year. Interesting. Am I Jack Black's brother? No. Jack Black and I are not related at all. He's American, I'm Irish. Couldn't be any less related, to be honest. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm like half a foot taller than him. Hang on. How tall is Jack Black? Jack Black is 5'6". Yeah, I'm almost a foot taller than him. Am I as funny as him? Probably not. But at least I have that going for me. Hi, Jake. Thanks for the follow, buddy. You attempted a computer science class and it was not fun. That's fair. I can't say that I've known a lot of people who found computer science incredibly fun. I enjoyed it. in the same way that you kind of like enjoy a lot of things, in that I did it because I felt I had to. You enjoyed it because I didn't do any advanced classes and that's where it ended for you. That's fair. I mean, listen, I would 100% say to people, listen, if you can stomach code, like not even necessarily be incredibly good at it, but at the very least stomach it and understand it, it's definitely something that you should consider as a career. Because I wouldn't have considered it as a career if it wasn't for the fact that friends of mine suggested I do it, and then I saw how much it paid, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll stomach this. I'll figure something out. Ooh. Should we agree? Oh, you want me to make you my regent? Absolutely not. I think I do that here. You're my son and player heir. Where's my husband? There he is. No, it doesn't matter. Oh, ice skaters. I'll join them. I have yet to have the ice skaters 5% where I get wounded. Yet to have that happen. We'll see. Oh, my son is sick. Do more. Ooh, he might die. Deal falls through. This is bad. If he dies and then my younger son dies, this might be bad. Oh wow, yeah, spread poorly. Alright, I'm off to walk my pups. Have an awesome day night, everyone. Thanks, Jess. Have a good one. Hopefully I'll see you in the future. Thanks for the follow. Archon of the Bucket. He's not very good, but I need him to... Harkon on the Bucket. There we go. I need him to be a successor. There we go. So this, I think, is like the first time I've ever actually had it happen where there's been a big disease spread where I am. My Chancellor has died. That's not good. Child of my dynasty, Farley Forrester. So, from what I understand, if both my sons were to die, it would pass to my brother. I think it would pass to Horther, who is not married yet, so I should get him married. Oh, look! Hey, look! Danny, it's a Blackwood. Look! She's right there above my head. She's 29 though, so I'm not getting married. I'm not marrying her to him, even though it would cause an alliance. They're also related. We've married into the Blackwoods already. So no, that's not happening. Let me just do age. Incest is the best. The Targaryens would definitely agree with you. Also, there's the Glenmores, who, if you remember, Danny, this is the house that Roderick's fiance was supposed to be in. Click on the Succession tab. Okay, cool. Yeah, I should do that. But this is the house that that Elena is from. I think if I do this, where is she? Lord Arthur. There she is. There's Elena. This is Elena Glenmore. This is who Roderick was supposed to get married to in the Game of Thrones Telltale game. And I think in my canonic timeline, he does. She's comely. She's considered attractive. So yeah, that's the Glenmores. Sometimes you'll see them actually just get wiped out. So they'll like end up in a situation where they no longer exist. But as you can see, they've done pretty well. They have a guy here whose name is Noble. He's a trained fighter, an elusive shadow. He's got a son who is pretty okay. Who has a son who is not very good. Which I think means they're going to die out because their son is not of the same line. But you see the Glenmores exist. So I need someone who's around 15. Whoa. You're 11. And you're intelligent. Yeah, sure. You get married. Oh. You know what? It gets me out of the house. Sure. We will bring medical equipment. Just because I don't like the idea of going out there. Just in case. How's my son doing? He's still alive. I am curious what would happen if he survives his pox because, oh, he's dead. He just died. And my my grandson, so they had a kid. Yeah, that's right, the Bright Flame had a kid. Oh, he's gonna die soon. Yeah. He's about to die as well. This is not good. Let me go to here. That's I think Succession's here, right? Succession, here we go. So it's Varley Forrester, then it's Eddard Forrester, who is my actual son, not the son of my son. And then it would be my daughter, and then it would be Horther, and then it would be Anila, who is my sister, who has kids, yes. Does not have a son, though. Oh, a Mormont. Sure. You two can get married. Invest in infirmaries? I have. I believe I have some here. I have some sick houses. I should probably upgrade that. I do not have pox, though. Somehow I have stayed entirely pox clear. Even though quite a few members of my family have it. So, for example, if my grandson dies right now, it would mean that Eddard would take it over. Which is probably not going to happen. Even though he does have reduced disease symptoms, which is very good, so he might actually live. And he is the robust one, who is married to a Amazonian comely lady, an Umber woman. My spy master. Oh yeah, because my spy master was my son, and he died. Oh boy. Invest in, yeah. I've invested in some infirmaries. I will admit, I don't know if this is a thing in the AGOT mod specifically, but I tend to find that there are very, very rarely any diseases this far north. Like once you get past like the Grey Downs, Edgewood, the actual area here, you don't tend to get very many plagues. But it looks like it broke out like right here, like in High Point. So I got very unlucky in that case. And as we can kind of see, it's already starting to. We lost 46 people to it. Robert Bracken. Oh god, he died of pox. Oh shit. And he had a son. Oh, well, that's lucky. You're widowed. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. It's a minor thing, so it should go away pretty quickly. But it's kind of been hanging around for a while. Oh, Varley Forrester lost the trait pox. So my grandson is now my player heir. Which, not good. Well, it depends. I'll be honest. I ain't gonna lie. It entirely depends. Because I have good humors. I have good health. My son Eddard still has pox. Does his wife have it? No, his wife does not have it. I won't lie. I legitimately thought we were about to lose. Send for a maester. Oh, he's 36. He's a eunuch. Yeah. Sure, he's good. He's not bad. But after that, though, I think I will be investing in some better things here. I will admit I've played baseline CK3 a couple times, and I always found the diseases to be very, very annoying. I.e., you would like spend, years building up a potential like line of inheritance that had really, really good inheritable traits in it and stuff. And then like you'd lose your entire you'd lose your entire dynasty in like one bad plague, even if you had everything already pre-built. So like, I'm kind of glad in AGOT that they're not as bad. Like as you can see, there's like one over here. But they don't come around that often this far north, I find, which is true. Where it's colder, it should not happen as much. Oh, you're very good. Yeah, let's get you married. My son is knighted. So this is actually what happened with, I think it's what happened in this save. If I go back to Gregor. You see, Roderick died during a battle. He died for the Battle of High Point. He died fighting the White Hills here in High Point. And he had a daughter. Which meant that he did not have anyone to inherit the throne when he died. So we did not have anyone inherit the throne. Sorry, we didn't continue down Roderick's line. We ended up becoming Asher because Roderick didn't have any kids. And actually, Asher's wife is still alive in the south. Wow. So this is my great grandmother, I think. This is my father. Yeah, no, she's my grandmother-in-law. Father, grandfather, grandmother. But she's not my grandmother because Alice Rowan is my grandmother by blood. Oh, he wants to enter an alliance. Absolutely, young man. Absolutely, I will. You had to turn off the plagues. Yeah, I don't like the plague system largely, which is kind of why I avoided the game for a while. Also, it looks like the vast majority of the plague is now burned off. Yeah, there's only 2 little areas affected by it now. There's no plagues in my realm anymore. Yeah, there we go. It's all gone now. How bad was that? Bad. Development is down at 0. That annoys me. The fact that it affects your development, it makes sense mechanically that, you know, having an entire civilian or peasant population in a feudal society die off means you no longer have people to run your society or to like function in your society. However, it does annoy the hell out of me because it's so difficult. Ooh, I got a dog. Shadow. It's just really annoying. Like, if you had a really, really good capital province and you're like, oh, I'm really, really happy with this. I finally have a baseline that I can use to, you know, take on the big liege that I don't want to have to worry about or whatever. All of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I can't because I've just had a plague and my entire, all of my like areas have just been destroyed. So I have to go back ahead. I have to go back now and rebuild it all. Desmond Wolf, you can take that. You're a legendary blade master. Very cool. It's too much like real life. Yeah, it's kind of like what happens with City Skylines 2, where Paradox had to remove landlords because landlords were quite literally ruining the game. Which is very funny, I'm not gonna lie. Just get married to the horny guy. Doesn't matter who. Like in City Skylines 2, they actually had to remove landlords because they were like, yeah, the landlords actually make this game way too hard to play. Landlords are actively making this game stupid. So they got rid of them. Which I will never stop laughing about. I think that's hilarious. Ooh, I'm sick. Excellent work. Very nice. Had to list my life's accomplishments earlier today, and I survived the plague. This is true. We survived the plague of our own generation, I guess. Then again, the Black Plague still exists. The bubonic plague still exists. It's just nowadays, it's like, whatever. You can just get yourself a dose of antibiotics, and you don't have to worry about it. So you're allied to 3 different people. You're allied to Cedar Peaks. You're allied to Withermore. Where's Withermore? Oh, it's down here. Okay. Interesting. Oh. Brax. You're my niece. Yeah, it's still common in Mongolia. I think there's like 4 or 5 cases every month or something like that in Mongolia of the bubonic plague because of the close proximity they have. Yeah. There's a close proximity to things that carry it, and because of that, they get it very often. I, for one, would not like to test that. I'm okay with not doing that, to be honest. I do not want to have the bubonic plague. Ooh, Herculean kid. Very nice. Right, you're immediately going down a martial education because you have Herculean, and we're going to get you trained by this guy, assuming you live long enough. There's a show on Netflix called the Decameron, and it's about the plague in 1345 in Florence. See, that'd be interesting because Florence was a massive port city in the day. So there would have been a bunch of people like fleeing Egypt and like North Africa to like come to Europe to try and get away from the plague, and would have brought the plague with them. So that's a very interesting story to tell. I am myself again. I'm no longer ill. Sick. So now that we've gained control of this, it is time to duel. Lord Howell, you are loyal to me. You shall do this. Torrance Square. So we have a chance to get a claim on the duchy. Right, ad breaks are happening, folks. Everyone stand up, stretch, grab yourself some water, take your meds. Have a wee stretch. Hi. Hey, son. Daughter, actually. Sorry. I can't read. The reason why I can't read is because I do not have my glasses on. Also, you have to excuse me for a moment here. I need to lean over to close my window before the moths fly in because it's dark outside now. There we go. Much better. It's literally just nobles and their servants fleeing to a villa in the countryside. British comedy. See, I hoped it would have been a dark comedy, like where the entire time they're being chased by a single rat. Like, you know, they're leaving the city of Florence and, you know, running or taking whatever they can find to this villa out in the middle of the Italian countryside that'll save them from the plague and the peasantry. And the entire time it just pans to like a rat that's following them the entire way from Florence to their villa. I just think that would be so funny. Ooh, Petra Forrester. Cute name. This is why people will never give me money. Because I am very bad with it. So I would like spend money on that show. People would never watch it and it would be like, ah, well, you know. I'm gonna go out and do some hunting. And then we have, once we have a claim on, I think we need a claim on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a claim on at least 4. So Denwood, Silverglade, Thorns Den, Timberwatch, and maybe Amber Lake. Or Edgewood Hills, maybe. No, Amber Lake, because Amber Lake is the one that has Wolfswood in it. Yep. It's you who can... Who is it that converts culture? It's you. So we should be doing this here. So what my plan is to essentially not take out the northern clan, because as you can see it goes up here into the wall area. But my plan is to like essentially cut like this down to a third and have the Northmen be a pretty just chill minority up here in the northern like third of their hills. and turn all of this into more Wolfswood Clan. Do I want this? No, I don't need it. Thank you. It's time to go hunting. My acquaintance Benjamin died. Oh, my prisoner. You know what? I should have recruited you. You're actually pretty good. Ah, well. Is there anyone else in here who I can recruit? You're not terrible. Yeah. I will recruit you. And you... Oh, you're half blind, huh? You're scarred, you're a dwarf. I'm just gonna let you go. To be honest. A shame. That's fine though, we still get some hunter XP I think every time we do it. Yeah, we do. We get a couple XP. Get 3 XP for that. What I am going to do, I think, is... How old is my character now? She's 48. Varley, you've not got any traits yet, so I'm going to leave you be for the minute. So what I'm thinking is that if I can, I might make Varley stewardship educated, because if I could take the Edgewood as this character, all I'm really going to want to do at that point is hold a bunch of territory. What I might do is I might give this, like, let's say this and the High Lordship of the Northern Mountains, which will make them independent. It'll make like an entire... Basically, I think what will happen is this northern area will become a cadet branch or like a secondary branch of Forresters. Because they'll be like, oh, they'll control their own destiny at this point. Because, like, obviously there are 2 provinces here that are controlled by Foresters. I think there's 3, actually. Yeah, there's 3 territories here. Well, there's 3, but one of them is by himself, and then this 2 are combined at this point. Yes. So, my idea is, once I take Edgewood, give the Northern Mountains to my current son, who is not going to be able to, you know... It's also kind of thematic, because the Umbers are who he's married to, and the Umbers are obviously right next door to us. They're here in the Last Lands. So we'd have the Umbers here in the Last Lands, and we'd have the Foresters of Umber, or whatever you want to call them, the Umbersters, next to them, which would be kind of cool. And then you'd have, obviously, the Black Plains would control basically this entire chunk, and then Edgewood too. Because I don't think people get negative opinions for controlling too many duchies. No. But I also don't control all that many duchies, I don't think. If I go here, and then go here, and then... Yeah. So I need this title to create that title. You think it does happen? Yeah, I've seen it happen before. I've had it happen before where the Forrester on the Iron Throne has formed a cadet branch. Also, there's 56 living Forresters right now. Holy shit. There's also one of them on the wall. Interesting. Yeah, there's 56 living Foresters, which is a lot for a single, you know, household. That's more than the Freys, I think. And the Freys, and like, that's sort of what they're known for. They're known for having a lot of kids. 59. It's almost as much. You were going to mention the phrase? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the phrase don't have fecund as a trait, because it just sort of seems like they like shagging, to be honest. Which, you know what, I think most people do enjoy a bit of sex, but like, the phrase are a bit much like, you know what I mean? Even for someone like me, it's a bit much. You should calm down and read a book or something. And, oh, of course, not kill the Starks. That'd be pretty good, right? Spoilers for Game of Thrones from like 12 years ago. Feels like 12 years ago. Probably isn't 12 years ago, but it feels like that. Speaking of Robb Stark, what did we all think of John Madden, the guy who played Robb Stark in The Eternals? Because I quite liked him in that. I also quite liked him in the BBC show The Bodyguard. I thought he was very good. I think he's a very underrated actor. And I'm glad he's doing acting again and other stuff, because I really like him. I think he's very good. You loved him in The Bodyguard? Legitimately, I'm super surprised there hasn't been a second season of that already announced. Like, legitimately, I think that might actually be some of the best modern stuff. You played Cosmo Di Michi? You mean the guy in... He was in Decameron? Is that the show you're referencing? I assume so. No, different show? Okay. I don't know what that show you're talking about is, though, Dimichi. I don't know. Oh, the show Richard Madden was called Medici. Okay. Oh, hey, Anto. Welcome. Nice to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Just home from work. I didn't realize you worked this late. Didn't expect that to happen. I thought you got home a bit earlier than this, Anto. He's kind of old. I'll look at it. See if it's alright. Oh, you had a board games tabletop event. Okay, fair enough. Yep, that's entirely fair. I get that, yep. Oh, yeah, I wanted to... Yeah, that would be the perfect thing to switch out the current thing for. Is he... Yeah, he's a Wolfswood Clansman. So there's actually currently a Wolfswood Clansman in charge of the North. That's cool, though. But yeah, I should... I might re-watch The Bodyguard. Because I really liked it, and it's been a very long time since I watched it. I don't think I'll re-watch The Eternals, because while I didn't mind it, it's not really for me. You're allowed to bring guests if I'm ever in Dublin on a Wednesday. Don't know if that'll happen. But thanks for the offer. It might have happened if the job that I was considering took me, but they haven't gone back to me, so I assume that's a no. I do, however, have another job that's currently in the offing. I have a talk with them tomorrow. All of Edgewood will be mine. Fantastic. Ooh, exciting. Yes. That's why I said my day got better. Because I got offered an interview tomorrow. Right, I do have to wait for my money to be in the positive. Mighty Hearthide. Someone did catch something. Very cool. Fine. Light a candle for you? Jesus. You have a section in your office that's open to the public. And we're running our games nights there. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty cool idea. So he is rowdy, which I think means he would do well for martial education. So let's get you educated. I don't have any particularly good martial traits. Just is a good trait, and so is gregarious, but it's not a very good martial education. So let's find you someone who's good at martial. There aren't many. Oh my god, there are not many. In fact, I am the best martial educator. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna educate my own grandchild. Right, I gotta wait to be in the black in order to actually start attacking someone. So I'm gonna wait for that. That is cool. It is cool. I appreciate that as an idea. I don't necessarily know if I would ever consider that as a thing to do, but it's cool. She's just a dog. Oh. Shit. You'd be very good. Cynical, humble. Humble is very good. One of our organizers has purely set it up so he and his friends have a place to play D&D. Based. Actually based. We also have free snacks. Absolutely. Sounds a great time. Unfortunately, I'm not near Dublin very often, and I don't like traveling to Dublin because it's a hellhole. Especially when you're driving in it. It's also very expensive to park in Dublin. Like, you know, it's just not good. It's just not a good time. Oh, nice. Lucky your office is full of older people with kids. Listen, most of the people who I play games with that aren't like on stream, like most people who I don't play on the component cast with, check out the links below to find that, are older, like they're in their 50s and 60s. But that's only because those people have the time because their kids are old enough and out of the house. So they have the time and space to go, oh yeah, we have a room in our house that's just dedicated to a big table with a lot of stuff that we can put stuff in to run tabletop games. So like, you know, oh no, the kids are small? No, in that case I'm like, listen, you fucked up somewhere. And there's kids, there's a pub across the road. Listen, Anto, yet again, I would need somewhere to stay, and unless you're willing to let me sleep on your couch or in a spare room, I'm not going to be able to go to the pub. It's one of those things where like you'd have to be able to be like, yeah, you can park near my apartment in a parking space, and then you can stay here. Sure, come to Cork? Ah, Jesus. To be honest with you, on certain days the drive to Cork will be shorter than the drive to and from Dublin. Not joking. There have been days where I've spent 2.5, 3 hours in traffic going to and from Dublin. It is insane. You blow up mattress? Ah, jeez, that does the job, boy. That's sort me. Right. We got to attack Edgewood. Let's double check our alliances. So we have Asher of the Barrowlands, which is 7,000 men, nearly 8,000 men. And we have the Righteous of Roastfields, who, oh wait, no, that's not me. That is that guy. We have Lord Rowan of Southstone, who is possessed. Also free parking in Blanche. Very nice. Very nice. I do like how Possess gives you monthly lifestyle XP. He has 6,000 men, but he is down here in the Riverlands. So we shall see. We shall see. Vance is there. Yeah, the two Vances are still there. The diseased and the short. Who is your primary heir? Who are you? Oh, you're your sister? Your daughter is a count in Dorne. And you have a star tattooed on your forehead? Okay. Alright. These Riverlanders are fucking weird people. We should leave. It's from the show. That doesn't make it any less insane. Run. Yeah, run. Why won't you get married to me? Oh, Faith. Sons of the Warrior, you think they're called. Is that mentioned in here? Sore muscle, 7-pointed star. This character has carved a 7-point star into their flesh as an act of zealous devotion. Prowess per level of devotion +1. Piety +1 per month. Different faith opinion -20. Extra clergy opinion. They're a stranger patron. They've had good omens. And they've desecrated a tomb. I don't like this woman. Bit weird. Anyway. So you're 5. Is there an alliance power person? I could get you married to the north, and it would allow me to be in an alliance with them. Honestly, I'm tempted. Anyone else in here? Oh, there's Flint. Flint's Finger. That's 5,000 men. 6,000 men, but I think that's Penatoshi. Yeah, that's across the sea. There's some Starks here. What do the Starks still own? The Starks own a bit of the Stepstones. That's wild. The Starks are a one province or a one. Actually, no, they're a 2-county territory in the Stepstones now, which is crazy. Anyways, oh, there's a Serwyn. There's the Golden Guard Heights, which I think is the... Yeah, it's the Gold Cloaks. So you know what? I think I'm just going to get you married to that. Just because I like the idea of being like, yeah, we're in charge now, and my... what is he to me? I think he's my cousin. Which daughter is she from? Andrin Forrester. Yeah, she's one of... Mira Forrester's kids? Andrin. Who's Andrin Forrester? Oh, one of Gregor's daughters, yeah. So, you're one of, like, the kids that came after Mira and Asher and Roderick. So you're one of, like, you're like a cousin many times removed at this point. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead now and take the Edge Woods. Yeah. We're gonna call in oh yeah, I can't call him in because it's against a vassal. So we're just going to call in the other two. Can get a human named next time one is born? Sure. Are you pregnant? You're not pregnant yet. That's annoying. You're 27. You're getting a little old. At some point, I will force your Oh, yeah. They're making a couple different stacks now because we have so many men, which is interesting. We can employ both strategies because I am a genius. Oh, geez. Yeah, I know. Things I would never say in real life. Like, oh, she's 27. Why haven't you had kids yet? You're getting old, my ma'am. Yeah, I know. But she's also chaste. So, like, can you blame me, really? You know? She has less chance of having kids. If they don't have kids by the time that, like, my son's in his mid-20s, I'll probably just get them divorced. Because I can do that, because I'm the house head. Also, I'm sure, Danny, you can agree with me on this. Unfortunately, Jazz is no longer here. Jen is no longer here. But one thing that I really hope they do add at some point, even if it's just like a small thing, like they don't add in a bunch of context or whatever, I really do hope they add in the Forrester storyline. Like if you get the start, like if they add in the Red Wedding start, like in the game. She's also married to a 19-year-old. Yeah, that's less weird than other things that happens in this universe. She's a thinker. Oh, so it's entirely from battles. Okay, so I can ransom you without having to worry about losing any war score. Another martial perk. That's Peacekeeper. That's good. Or Peacemaker. That's good. Oh, he gave me 2 gold. Very sweet of him. Yeah, so they've not been married for very long. They've only been married for 3 years. So, like, I kind of hope they have a kid because I think it'd be kind of cool to be like, hey, because I'm going to give Eddard the North Mountains Duchy, Anto. So if they had a son, you would become the master of the North Mountains, which isn't really your vibe in person. I know you're from Dublin, so not necessarily the same shtick as you, but sure, it's alright. Yeah, so essentially the way that this starts is you start as the Count of Ironwrath, and then there is the White Hills and High Point, and you start off in a feud with them, as you do in the Telltale games. So like my hope, you're originally from Bray, you had mountains. That's fair. Bray has some mountains in it. Ooh, I got my full thing. Nice. So now we control a pretty big chunk of the north. I think we're the most powerful person in the north. You do also spend a lot of time in the mountains. Fair enough. Was not aware. But yeah, we are now the most powerful person in the north. I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially had maybe. We obviously don't have the same level of monetary or well, you're just a yeah. I'm just gonna negotiate release recruit for you. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. That was very good. So yeah, you are very good. You are going to be very helpful to me. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to me. There we go. I'm going to go to my relationships. We're going to influence you to be... Let's go with just. That's my boy. Ooh. We're then going to go to my grandson here. Influence his personality. We're going to try to give him compassionate. Maybe just. No, we're not going to do that. We're instead going to get you educated by someone who is much better at fighting than me. Finn Stables. Because I don't know if people know this, but if you are teaching somebody and you are not in direct control of that teaching, a lot of the time, especially if they have a higher education trait themselves, so like in the case of Finn, so if I go to him in my relationships and then your guardian, he has brilliant strategist, which is the second highest you can be. You can technically be higher than this. You can be a tier 5 education trait, but that's very rare. It's very hard to get to that point. A lot of the time it means that you spent a lot of time visiting universities and stuff in game. Okay, so there's nothing near me. Good. But yeah, I think... Where are you? Where's Michonne? Oh, you've been maimed. Oh, God. Compassionate, lazy, gluttonous. Compassionate. Compassionate's a very, very good trait to have. Because if you look at it, compassionate gives extra diplomacy, negative intrigue, negative natural dread, faster natural dread decay, and even gives attraction opinion. People are attracted to people who are kind, which I appreciate. You have a son, don't you? My grandson. Yeah, I should probably get you married to somebody. Sure. Alright, who are you? Oh, there's a thing up in the north, in the far north up here. So yeah, Anto, if obviously, as you can see, there hasn't been many Forrester kids popping out at the moment, but I think that's because a lot of the Forresters that are currently around are quite old, or there are like the ones who aren't reproducing. I mean, in Eddard's case, I'm not surprised because he is severely injured. And then there's Arsha, who is married to Lord Rickon of the North. Petra Umber. You're 23. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone who is of the right age to marry you. I will admit, being in the North is a bit of a cheat code if you want to get the Herculean/strong traits in. Because there's the Umbers right here who seem to have it pre-designated that they will just keep producing kids who are strong. If not them directly, then one of the many, like one of the minor Umbers, like the Lord Henley here, has produced many kids apparently who have good congenial traits. So there's a question there. So, Anto, do you want that? Do you want me to give Lord Eddard Forrester hold water here? Makes sense lore-wise? Yeah, absolutely. The Umbers are known to be massive. During the Red Wedding in the book, the Umber who was there, which I don't think was Big John. I think it was Little John. So there's Great John here, who I think died before the Red Wedding. That or Great John was still in the Last Lands, and Small John, who is not small by any means, he went with Rob to the wedding, and even though he had like drank a fuck ton of alcohol, he still took down like unarmed and unarmored like 6 or 7 Frey men who are fully armed and armored. Man, my character seems to like be very close to dying all the time. Which is, it probably is a good thing that we got this. I don't know if I want to go for the Grey Downs. Oh, I've got an infected wound. I'm definitely dying. Oh, I can train for a tournament. Let's do that. Get well trained. Very nice. Bearman. Well, Bearman is the Mormonts, and they kind of have that too. Some of them have it at least. I think there's no, you're a good brother. Who is your successor? If you're not actively dying, have you really played CK3? Probably not, though I did heal. Even though I've got an aggravated wound. So, like, what are you guys thinking? Do you guys think I should try and take over the Grey Downs and just, like, essentially consolidate myself in this, like, northwestern, I guess, part of the north, and call that the save, and just say, yeah, now that we're in charge of this whole area, and there is a Forrester in charge of the north, we're happy? Right. I'm going to try and do this. I have had it happen before where I've had Grey Down, Stony Shore, the Barrowlands, Keystone, and the North, all held by a Forester through marriage. I think the same with the Westerlands. Like, I've had the Foresters somehow manage to take over. Oh my god, what the fuck happened to the Stormlands? Oh, it's controlled by the Iron Throne. I see. Wow. Am I going to do a new run when I do this? What I will say, Anto, is that probably not straight away. I'll probably find something else to play for a little while. I'm just gonna do this war real quick. There's the peasants. Go over there and beat their ass. There is an update coming out for this mod that includes a new start date and dragons. So what I'll probably do is I'll wait until that mod releases fully to the public. Sorry, that the mod update releases fully to the public. Who am I at war with here? Gonna manage release in the morning. Night, boys. Good night, Danny. Have a good one. Oh, hold water. Wrong end. Ooh, we got a new king on the Iron Throne. King Nolan of the Iron Throne of House Baratheon is 16. Intrigue character. Who is lusty, gregarious, sadistic, and stubborn. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over the Grey Downs. I'm going to hand over the North Mountains to my son. At which point I think we will basically be happy with the game. The game will be done. Ferline. Oh. Sure. Which Baratheon are you? Laurent Baratheon, Robert Baratheon. Oh, you're actually a descendant of Robert. Interesting. Didn't think there were still any of those left around. Right, so now we've got Gallant. We're going to switch over to Wealth Focus. You need a worthy successor. Is there one around? Kyle of Steel Stumps. Okay, so do this. Kyle of Steel Stumps, you will now be the successor. Perfect stuff, bye. So we're gonna basically speedrun this. Oh, disband all. We're gonna speedrun this. We're going to wait until we've taken the... I'm gonna do that, and then we're going to immediately go into doing another one. In the hope that we can get a claim on the entire thing. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a minimum 4 to usurp the Grey Downs from whoever's there at that point. There's a child of our dynasty. She is quick. Anto, do you want her? Or do you want me to name somebody else after you? Do you want me to name an actual son? Or do you just want one? Is this alright? I'll call her Antoinette, if that's okay. Just gonna refresh my chats real quick so it forces it. Yeah? Okay, cool. Antoinette. It's probably how you spell it, but let me just check it. Antoinette. Yeah, that's alright. There's Antoinette Forrester. You are a quick lady who is the daughter of a bastard branch of the Valyrians. The Bright Flames. And you are technically the half-brother to my player heir. Oh, I'll switch you out now as well for you'll do. I'm kind of surprised that at some point during all this, I couldn't end up in a situation where I was told, hey, if you declare war again, we will do something about it. But yeah, not bad all in all. Let me just put back on my stream manager. There we go. So I'm just gonna have to wait now, more or less, for these claims to come through. Gluttonous, lazy. I don't want either, to be honest. But I guess gluttonous is better than lazy, because like gluttonous only really lowers stewardship a little bit. Attraction opinion is negative, but that's cancelled out by compassionate. So, it's much of a muchness, really. I don't like it though, but it'll have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get a claim on 4 of these counties, probably the First Hollow, Stonebrand, Blackpool, and the Welts. And once I have all 4 of those, well, I suppose I could just claim all 6. It's not like I don't have the money for it. Who is your heir? Who are you married to? Oh, you're just inbreeding. Okay, cool. Wait, how does that work? Oh, you're married to Roderick of King's Course, so how is that going to work? That's going to be interesting. I don't know which... oh, there's a new Lord Commander on the wall. Who is a Master Ranger. Very cool. Not very good at commanding, though. It would, however, be cool to have a Forrester go on the wall before we end, because there is a Forrester up here. Oh, it's a Harlow. I don't know if he's still alive. Let me check. So we had a Forrester on the wall earlier. Is he there? Benjamin Forrester. Yeah, he's still there. He's 52 now, though. Absolutely, I'll take that. So there is a Forrester up there, but happy enough with that. I don't mind pissing people off who mistreat other people. That seems like a very Forrester thing to do. I will state that it is well known that the Forresters are very, very loyal bannermen of the Starks, but also that the Glovers are not very good at being good bannermen. As we saw in both at the Red Wedding when people were killed and no one seemed to notice, and also the fact that during the show, Jon Stark Targaryen, we'll hyphenate his last name because I feel like it, he went to the Glovers asking for help and they said no. So in my mind, the Forresters were like, we can be better than them. We deserve to rule the Wolf's Woods. Wait, he's in my court? Oh, okay. Also, I'm not one to lie. I love the icon for fornicator. Someone's loins are on fire, and I'm like, you know what? That's fair. Hard to argue that, I guess. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and upgrade the hospices. It's going to cost a lot of money, but we'll do it. How much better does that make disease resistance? 12. So an extra 2 points of disease resistance. Hey, do you need help? These guys are struggling. Oh, I've just gained Deepwood Moat back. Alright. Balthazar Forrester. It's a good name. I'm not going to grant you Deepwood Moat, though. I am instead going to grant it to... let's see. Someone in here. You. You're content and you also have pretty decent stuff and things. So hang on. How much is our vassal contribution? Currently it is 4.9. When I meritocracy, it should be 5.3. Perfect. Now we need a new marshal. Yeah, you'll work. Let me just do this. Move that to there. Raise all armies. And then wipe the floor with them. It's always interesting when you're like this powerful and you can like actively volunteer to help out your vassals. Because it does make them like you more. Where is it? No, it doesn't actually. Rubbing elbows with the small folk. Yeah, sure. Helps with my my stress. Very good, very nice. Who are you? What are you looking for? You want to be my... No interest in that. We've got a couple more claims to get here. I think after this one we could declare war and claim the title from under them. But I don't necessarily know if that's a good idea. Also, I can't revoke their title because I don't have better crown authority, and I can't improve it, I don't think. Or if I could, I can barely improve it now. Master Rickard of the North is getting a little older, which means Theo of the North will take over, who is not married. Oh, you're of a pirate crew. 8,000 men, though. It's not nothing. I don't think I've ever seen the Iron Throne take the entire Stepstones before. But now I think it's very funny how the Starks are a single county people. So if I go up here a little bit, the Wise Wolf of Dwarfstone. No, they've been here a while. The Just of the North, Benjen. And there's Lord Eddard the Honest. Oh, so you're a branch. You're actually Benjen's kid. Because Benjen doesn't start at the wall at the 284 start. Interesting. The more you know. The more you know. Destroying the Starks to Glory would be a fun save. Yeah, like if you could just like, I don't know. I think you can do it with console commands. Just like, oh, I've now given the Forresters the North. I'm now going to go over to these Starks, Benjen's branch of Starks, not the main line of Starks, but the secondary one. Well, secondary in the sense of like it's not Eddard's line, it's not Ned's line, it's Benjen's line. Who you have to then go, okay, we're gonna somehow get back on the throne of the North. I'm on Iron Man. So now I've gotten a claim on the entirety of the Grey Downs. We're going to declare war. You have one ally of Stony Shore. I have 3 allies. I am not worried about you. We are going to do this real goddamn fast. We are going to take this, move it to there. We're going to call in Asher the Proud. Oh, Brandon's not good. We're going to raise all of our armies. Asher's joined. Lord Thorin has joined. Italia murdered Morena Forrester. Who are you married to? Van. Oh, you're fuck. You're Petra's mother. Well, that's a bit of a shit time. So once we have the Grey Downs, I will hand off the mountains of the north to my son, At which point I think we will end the save. And it's also, I've also been streaming for a little bit over two and a half hours, which is more than enough time, really. Also, I don't really like just going on and on and on in the Crusader Kings save. I like having a decided plan. Like, I'm like, oh, we're going until we have this done, and that's it. Ooh. We'll call you Danny. Because you're Herculean. You're absolutely mahusive. Oh, look at that. I should have named her Antoinette. But hey, the more we would have known. The more we would have known. We'll go ahead and take over there. Oh, wait. They have another ally now. Who is it? No, it doesn't look like that. We're okay. Sorry, Anto. I should have put you as that, and then I would have been able to put you over here with. Well, you never know. They could have had more than one kid at that point. And at that point, you're never quite sure. But if they have a son, I'll be sure to name them Anthony. So they've had a kid now, at least. That's good. But yes, I do prefer having an actual end game goal, and having that goal be like, yeah, the save ends there. That's like where the timelines break up, basically. That's the way I look at it. It's like, yeah, once we get to a point, whatever deity you can call me, the old gods in this instance, look at it and go, yeah, we've done our best here. We've given. Oh, I see some enter. And we got cooperative stonemasons. Very nice. Who the fuck is this war? There's a fucking. The fucking. What? What the fuck do you mean? The Veil are here. They aren't in a war with me over the Greydowns. They are here because of a war of revenge. You're a slave owner? Where the fuck are you from? Oh, you're down here in Massey's Hook. Lord Griff of the Greenwood in a revenge. What the fuck did you do? I kind of hate I skipped over that now. But I don't think I'll be getting involved in that war. To be honest with you, I don't think I'll be getting involved in that war. I think he fucked up. Fucked his wife, probably. Maybe. Let's see. Does it tell me? No, you have a rival, though. Elona, who is, I think, of the same house. Yes. I don't know. That's weird. But it's not. Well, it is kind of my problem. They will siege down my territory and steal stuff for me if I don't fight them. But they have 5, 10, 15, 21, 22... 22,900 men, give or take. So, Can I call you in? Not a war leader. Can't call you in because of that. Can I call you in? Not the war leader. Well, that's a bastard, isn't it? Right, we've got enough here now to do this, so we're going to enforce our demands. We are now in charge of a large chunk of the north. So can I usurp you? Technically, I can. Right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you straight in there. Just to attack. We'll apparently win this. But I don't think it'll work that way. Yep. We discovered windmills. Awesome. Which means I think we have an extra... Yeah, we have an extra thing now, which means I can build windmills. We are now going to immediately disband this army. Because we are not going to get involved in that war. We are now going to hand hold water to Eddard Forrester. Eddard Forrester now controls the northern mountains. He absolutely loves his mom because she's given him a bunch of territory. I can negotiate an alliance, which I will do. I will then offer you a squire. No, I will offer you this squire. I will then... How will I do this? Living members ranked by prowess. Can I... You are not a knight. You are a knight. I could claim his title. What do we think, guys? Do we think I come back with another stream in like a few days? Because it won't be tomorrow because I have another thing on tomorrow. But do you think I should come back and try to wrestle the north from my cousin? That might be fun. It might be interesting. It would mean I would have to find an alliance with like the Vale, the Riverlands, the Westerlands, or something like that, like the Reach, or maybe the Iron Isles. I would have to find well, with the Barrowlands and the Northern Mountains on my side, because these guys will have a decent amount of men. These guys have around 8,000 men. He has 30,000, and he's allied to Greywood Tower, who only don't have many. But he's also allied to Velvet Hills, who has 6,000 men. So there is for sure options. Absolutely not. You're terrible. Let's go with age. Looking for someone between 13. Oh, you're 7. You'll do if need be. Suppose I could get you married to my grandchild. You have 2.6% chance of my children being inbred, but we'll see. See what else is there. There's a Martell there. Kind of cool. Another Martell. Artos Wolf, you'll do. Oh yeah, I also need to give away some of this territory down here. So Blackpool doesn't have anything particularly cool about it, so I'm going to grant Welt Castle to a local Wolfswood man clan, and then I'm going to grant you to Wolfswood clan. Is there anything else? No. That puts me at 4 out of 4. Because I no longer control Deepwood. The Deepwood Vale. I can't call him to war. Oh, can I do this? Oh, he has a squire. Fuck. Okay. We'll have to find a different person then. You're not very good as a fighter. You're better, but you're also a Septon, so I don't think you'll. Well, you'll take a squire. Interesting. I didn't think that was a thing. Yep, you can get married. Excellent. So this is essentially, I think, a pretty good setup. We have a large selection. We have the slates. We have, sorry, not the slates. We have what's this called again? Sorry, my brain. We have the Grey Downs. We have Edgewood. We have Sea Dragon Point. It's not been formed, but it is there. We have the Wolfswood, and we have the Black Pines, and we also have the Northern Mountains on our side. We technically have the Barrowlands as well, but but Asher the Proud is a bit old now. So it's a bit tight on stuff, but at the moment things look pretty good. Also, I am going to go ahead and keep upgrading the stuff here. For better stuff. So it has been almost 3 hours since I started streaming, which means it's almost 11 p.m. here. Can we surrender? I can't surrender because I'm... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to be done. There we go, we've lost. Imprisoned by Lord Griff. So he's in prison now? He is. What's his ransom? 50? No, thank you. So that War of Revenge is done. It's not particularly what I would have liked to see, but here we are. We're okay with it, I guess. So we have the Grey Downs. We have the Edgewood. We have Sea Dragon Point. The only thing I would consider trying to do is trying to take Sea Dragon Point itself from the Glovers so I could form Sea Dragon Point. Because it doesn't... The duchy doesn't technically exist. Like, if I go here, I can create it, but I don't own the duchy capital, so I can't. So, yeah. It's not great, but it's fine. So we have Sea Dragon Point, we have the Wolfswood, and we have the Black Pines. At least we have most of it on our side. We have a massive base of power at the moment here in the north. We control basically the entire northwestern chunk and the northern mountains as well. The last lands, I don't think we could get you trained all the way. You know what? I will give you him as a squire. If you'll accept him, you will not. Oh, hey, Lucky Loot. I don't know who the person behind the account is, so I'm just going to call you Lucky for now. You saw my goal. You saw the live post? Yeah, so Tommy apparently made that so he could see me going live, which is pretty based of him, because it's the team members of Doris. So I will obviously go live, and Tommy will go live when he streams like Coding Doris. I don't stream that sort of stuff. I usually just stream video games. So yeah, thanks for showing up, Lucky. It's appreciated. And thanks for the follow as well. That's much appreciated too. Yeah, it's much appreciated. Thank you. You station Men at Arms Regiment. Well, you're not stationed. I'll station you there. You have 2 things of Wolfswood's Hunter, so we don't actually need the 2 of them. I will, however, increase your size. Increase your size. Increase your size. There we go. Oh, I'm in line of Herit titles. Oh, that's right, yeah. Because you're a primary heir, so it's you. Then it will be you. Then I think it would be your mother? I think. I can tell. I could probably just look. No, it'd go to my daughter. So it'd go to his daughter. And it'd go to Varley Forrester, my player heir and grandson. Then it would go to my daughter, and then it would go to me. But I appreciate you coming over, Lucky. It's appreciated, and of course I appreciate every follow as well. But unfortunately, this is the end of the stream. I think I'll come back on Friday, and we will try and take over the north as this line of Foresters. I don't know if I will or not. I might just decide on the day if I care enough, because I'm pretty happy with how the save has gone. Pretty happy with the location we're in. Pretty happy with the power base we have, and we do have a Forester on the north, on the throne of the north. So, all in all, I'm pretty happy with things as how they've gone. Also, to be fair, being the king of the north means you have to follow then the logical conclusion to that of, okay, now we got to get independence from the Iron Throne. That would be our next goal. And I don't necessarily care enough to do that, because it's actually very hard to take the north and become independent, because they are the smallest military strength around, I'm pretty sure. Aside from the Riverlands, for some reason. Oh, you're massively kicked in the face, it looks like, because you're at war with the Reach right now. And your Reach is your war. Oh yeah, that's right, because a part of the Riverlands are currently own part of the Reach, which is fucking weird, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. We could take on basically everything aside from the Reach and maybe Dorne. Well, not the Iron Throne, because the Iron Throne has 75,000 people, but there is for sure something I could figure out there. He's lusted over far and wide, huh? He's got a kid, though. Who are you? Oh, you're a thorn. With flail in hand. Nothing particularly interesting about you. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to raid into a... either someone also playing CK3 or someone who I follow. We are going to go with the same category first. We have someone here playing AGOT who's only been live for 20 minutes. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Claiborne's live. Are they? Oh, they are. Okay, I might raid them. That's a decent option. Let's see who else is here, just to see what else is going on. Okay, so we're going to raid a VTuber, it looks like. We're going to raid Kiki Fuji. Streams been up for 17 minutes. Yeah, that works for me. Means you guys get to watch a long stream. So if any of you are looking for a very long stream to watch, you can feel free to jump into the raid, say hello to Kiki Fuji. Don't know anything about them, but hey, I'm sure it'll be a great time. I will see you guys next time. Bye now.